Joining us. It is a Monday and it's Smart Means Business here. Be the first to know.
And very well, we kick-started with Kenya in regards to our cross borders this morning, where the United Arab Emirates developer to build free houses for refugees in Kenya during Ramadan. The United Arab Emirates-based property development company Arada has launched an initiative dubbed Home for a Home that will see it building homes for hundreds of refugee families in Kaliobei settlement in Kakuma to Kana country during the period of the Ramadan. Now, the program, launched in partnership with the Big Heart Foundation, seeks to build a home for refugee families for every household in Arada's master community during the month of Ramadan. The Big Heart Foundation is a UAE-based global humanitarian organization dedicated to helping refugees and people in need worldwide. According to the company, homeowners who buy a house in Maskar community in Saraj during the month of giving will also be located a home which will be built on behalf on the Kaliobei and will receive an updates about construction progress at the Kenyan home. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim year, which is strictly fasting, worship, giving, and prayer are observed. The first of its kind project in Kenya will benefit the refugees, mostly from neighboring countries ravaged by the decades of the war. And Kakuma refugee camp is the home of around 160,000 refugees from South Sudan, Somalia, the DRC, Burundi, Ethiopia, and Uganda. It is located in Turkana, one of the poorest countries in the country. And Kaliobei settlement is developed onto the requirement on a different and more sustainable approach to refugee assistance programming in the country. It is also designed to improve socio-economic conditions for both the refugees and the host community. As we conclude on this one, you realize that the settlements host Kakuma refugee camp, and it's biggest being developed around the urban center, allowing both refugees and the host community to benefit and increase the opportunities for income generating activities around those settlements. Now we're looking out for what giving, prayer, worshipping is for our Muslim brothers, and they're in the month of Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to every Muslim around if you're watching us. And what are you doing to make sure you make this month, you make this period we are in very special to your neighbor?
Well, and when you closely take a look at what is coming in from Kenya, ideally, I think it also goes back to the Ugandan community here, because during the month of Ramadan, there is a lot of caring and sharing. I would say it's a month where most probably the Muslim community come together, not only through fasting and prayer, but also in sharing and giving out opportunities for others, to see that during this month it comes with more of the blessings. So I do believe with the United Arab Emirates here, because it's also a Muslim or a Muslim country, it comes at a time when they are giving back to the poor communities as well. In most cases during fasting, it's only not giving back to the poor, not only to the needy, but also giving out to people who actually, apparently those who are in need in most cases. And to Ramadan, even here in Uganda.
But how do you know somebody is in need?
Is in need.
Apart from, apart from the visible poor person that you can tell.
You can see.
How can you as well tell that somebody is in need, needs my help?
No, I do believe all of us are needy in one way or the other, because once you're given something, you'll have to receive it in open arms. And during this month, whether you have things in plenty, you always have to accept what is being given to you. That is, either way, it is a blessing. So you don't need to block the blessing. You're either blocking someone who's giving you, or you're blocking your own blessing. Someone may give you something, but it's actually blessing you far beyond what you
My hands are wide open to receive from all those who would want to give.
Bless you,
I'm
this
speaking
Ramadan.
it with that holiness, because we're in the month of Ramadan. But also, I'll be reaching out to those that I can in my capacity.
But I think this one is actually going to mainly go to settling refugees, as well as the poor communities in Kenya. So clearly, you could see the month of Ramadan is already reaping big for most of these people. And for the people in need, the needy, those with disabilities, normally have a good opportunity during such holy month, whereby they're actually being recognized.
And this actually comes when the Christian community are also still in the Lent period, but they're anticipating, or we're anticipating to end it by next week. Yes, that is when we are anticipating the Easter holiday for the Christian community, as our brothers, Muslim brothers, continue with their fasting period.
Well, now let's head to Nigeria, as the Emirates, Qatar Airways, Josto for Nigeria's national carrier. The United Arab Emirates' national carrier, that is the Emirates Airlines, and its Qatari counterpart, Qatar Airways, has rallied behind Nigeria's new national carrier project for successful takeoff next quarter. While Qatar Airways is among legacy carriers pushing for technical partnership, the Emirates has only pledged to support Nigeria if invited by the federal government. Besides appointing an interim team to manage the incubation phase, the Ministry of Aviation has also submitted a request for the Air Operator Certificate, the AOC, and Air Transport License from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Already Christian Nigeria Air, the proposed carrier, last month opened an invitation to interested private parties to submit proposals for the takeover and further development of the new carrier. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, at the ongoing World Development Summit in Dubai, said the process to set up the new airline was in full swing and promised it would be delivered before the end of this particular administration. Sirika said the Nigerian potential was too huge for the country not to have a national carrier. Nigeria is situated at the center of Africa, equidistant from all locations in Africa of about 30.4 million square kilometer. That is 30.4 square kilometers, million square kilometers, with the 1.5 billion people and very green land. If Central and Eastern Africa are the belt of the continent, then Nigeria is the backup. Nigeria has over 200 million people and a rising middle class with a high prosperity to fly. So definitely Nigeria is a candidate for a national carrier, and this is why they are pushing so hard to get them the Nigeria Air, to see that they also are having a very big statement in the aviation sector on the African continent. I think this is a very huge move by the Nigerian people.
Okay, and when it will come, in case it's successful, of course it will be, because the move there is being highlighted, because their ministry is injecting a lot, and you see the progress that is already happening.
Even the partnerships they're having.
Yes.
Qatar Airways here. Now they also have the Emirates coming on board. So clearly you could see they've already targeted the big boys in the aviation sector to see that they can easily get going.
Yes, and I reflect that here with our airways, our airlines around here, with the new board, we are anticipating what uniqueness are they going to bring on board. The last one, had the Airbuses coming on, but it was planned earlier on. That is all the recognitions that come with the particular organization structure that is already there, the particular management that is already there. Every success is turned onto you, pinned onto you. But we anticipate for what will be coming with this new board of the Uganda Airlines. And away from there, when we cross to the United States, a team of Amazon workers force the company to recognize a trade union around there. A team of the Amazon workers has forced the technology giant to recognize a trade union in the US for the very first time. And the workers at a New York warehouse voted 55% in favor of joining the Amazon labor union. Now the group is led by former Amazon worker Chris Smalls, who made his name protesting
Smart
against
24,
safety conditions
driving business.
at the retail giant during the pandemic. Small's victory marks a major defeat for Amazon, which had previously fought against the union's organization. However, in Alabama, where the Amazon was a separate union, the company appeared to have of activists at contest challenged by the yet overturned result. Together, activists who have a long decried labor practices at the Amazon, the country's second largest. Now, Smalls emerged from the vote count looking tired but jubilating again, and pumped open a bottle of champagne, and he was handed by supporters. In a statement, Amazon highlighted that it was disappointed by the loss in New York and that was evaluating how to proceed. It also accused regulators of improperly influencing the vote. After the vote, Chris Smalls was instantly surrounded by supporters and assembly camera crews. He also, him and his team of workers organizers had struck out their own, creating a brand new name, Independent Labor Union, and they launched their fight against the Amazon. But their victory was a moment of vindication for the former Amazon worker, whom the company was called not smart or articulate in a leaked strategy memo, but he also told the crowd it was a bigger plan than that. And when we conclude on this one, you realize that the Amazon employs more than 1 million people in the US, and it has extraordinary influence on workers' practices. Even outside its doors, the company puts up a wall of resistance to unions since its inception. Within or without it, activists are hoping that wall is about to crumble. And now speaking about the winner for the Amazon this time, Smalls, who is being prized there, but Amazon is also highlighting it's not happy with the lose in New York that was happening around there. Joram, what do you have to comment about all these wins coming on? This is one of the best-selling laptops online. That is actually having not only employing a lot of people, but in case you have got things you want to show online, Amazon does a lot of things. If there are books there, you can find a lot. It's a great company with a lot of things, but I don't want to go there. It is a big name already. But what do you have to comment about all its strengths now that it has gotten
just like I have friends in just in Basanze where the company has come to trade union.
Sigaza sente naye plan
they actually voted, and the votes showed 55% in favor of joining the Amazon Labor Union. So there is a trade union that is coming. The Amazon has actually a number of since the lockdown. First, when you look at the issue that during the lockdown they had to lay off. Now, this is the time when post-COVID, there was something about quarter smart, and then safety measures came in. People were like, most of the workers were saying, they're not actually prioritizing our health and our safety. So therefore, most of them went on strike. So I do believe the trade union here has actually come up to actually be a voice for most of these workers and employees. They want to actually come out and say, well, this is not right. This should be the way you're supposed to
and
pay
this
us.
also came, I remember when most of the workers were working from home, even when it was time to get back to work, and then they wanted their salaries to be increased if they're going to be getting back to work, not working from home. So, but you can still I mean, it's a company which has been in crisis at a point, just like any other global, company that has been there. It has arrived at a time, and then a global condition unprecedented hit the economy, and this is never leaving everything the same. At some point, individuals tend not to understand or not to click directly in the mind that, hey, this is happening equally. Though it is a big one, a giant founded company which everyone looks up to and wishes to work for at some point. But do you know, even the most big companies still face crisis that you can never even imagine at some point, because most of the times you find these companies deal with cryptos. They, save with the cryptocurrency at some point, trends interchange, and they're in losses at some point. Though the end user might not see that, or the employer might not see that, and the bosses are not going to come and tell you every time that, you know what, we are registering this amount of the loss. Otherwise, they're going to be scaring the employers, and you're going to be not there. You're going to find means of how you're going to find your way out, your exit. But what I can say is that sometimes we tend not to understand what is happening along, the company lanes. But nonetheless, I still say that with the trade union recognizing or being a voice for the workers, let the company's priorities as well be heard.
And
it shouldn't be one-sided.
Highly expected that if this becomes very successful, then a number of trade unions may be set up in the United States. And it would be quite worrying for some of the employers once such trade unions keep on happening in almost all companies there. Well, let's sum up the SMB across borders details with what is coming in from Tanzania. As this time round, Total Energies has launched a first solarized station in Dar es Salaam, that is in Tanzania. The Total Energies marketing in Tanzania yesterday during the weekend, launched its new global identity in Dar es Salaam as part of its ongoing transformation plan. The company also launched its first solarized service station at the Total Energies Samora service station in the city in an effort to give users an opportunity to enjoy products and services powered by solar energy. The company introduced its Total Energies image in Tanzania in May 2021 in its ambitious plan to become a world-class player in the energy transition. The new name and the new visual identity of Total Energies embodies the company as a broad energy player that is committed to producing and providing more affordable, reliable and clean energy so as many people as possible. And speaking during the event, the Total Energies Marketing Tanzania Limited Managing Director, Jean-Francois Shaw, said the ongoing transformation plan was in line with the firm's wider goal of cutting carbon emission. It has an ambitious target to solarize up to 68 service stations by the end of 2022, as well as an industrial site such as in Dar es Salaam terminal and its lubricants oil blending plant. With this target, the company expects a production of close to 900 kilowatts of electricity on a full year. Gracing the event, the Minister of Energy, January Makamba, said the transformation of Total to Total Energies marked the tremendous development in Tanzania's energy sector, saying it was an indication that the country could fuel up with sunlight, enjoy a beverage made by solar power, and even recharge their batteries at the speed of light when Total Energy service stations.
What I can say there is Tanzania at least has is rich in gas, because one of the highlights as we were launching ECOP around the country, the pipeline. President Museveni was highlighting how it is one of the wishes and the country's vision to tap into the gas opportunity from Tanzania. So there will be another just adjacent to the pipeline that is going to be set up. The Omudomo. Is it Omudimo Omudomo? The pipeline.
The pipe.
Omudomo Omudimo. How do you call it?
You've actually
Omudomo.
No, you spell most these words are the same.
Omudomo is the same as Omudimo.
It is Omudum. Now, once you put in Omudum,
Omudumo. Okay, the pipeline. Just as we create our pipeline, as it's going to be there, there is going to be another pipeline that is going to bring gas from Tanzania to Uganda. And that one will see great opportunities as well for us. But back onto what Total is doing now. Number one, they've got that advantage of the gas there. But when you look at the solarization systems that are arising, the world globally, we are onto trying to emit or emulate any cases arising with climate change, the negative effects around there. And the use of green energy is one of the processes that is going to be helpful, very helpful to the communities in whichever way you are going to be doing it. But regardless on how you're doing it, it is very impactful towards maintaining that space, at least using that space of natural solar, because in the end, we're not going to be cutting down trees to make sure we produce electrical poles or the generation of electricity at some point. So the gas, the solar plants there are being helpful to make sure at least we control that risk that comes with the environment. That is what I can see there that is going to create at least some change with the people of Tanzania.
Well, and truth be told is that when we're trying to look at how we meet the effects that can actually associate with climate change, it is very true to actually use green power. And when you look at solar energy stepping up as a way of actually addressing the issue of climate change. So as a matter of fact, Tanzania are taking a very huge step ahead of the East African community countries. But the only good thing about these things is that once something is happening in Tanzania or Kenya, it is always very easy for the
East African community,
for the other bloc to actually pick up from the member states.
You know, this is very interesting now, because when we speak about developments that are happening in Sudan, that are happening in Kenya, that are happening in DRC,
so
other countries are tending to be on the rise. What are we doing? And this is creating competition now.
Something that we want to get rid of.
Exactly. And this is also coming on with a moderate cost. Was when you when you look at electricity consumption and solar, you realize that solar is a bit reliable. I mean, until maybe there is no sunshine at a point. But considering the plant we were seeing there, that means it can at least contain that particular solar energy at some point for a very long time. Even when there is no sunshine at some point, you still have got reserves. But how about there is an electricity blackout. That means you're going to have shocks in businesses. While someone with solar is going to continue, operating. So always there is alternatives that are there to improve our businesses.
Oh, and alternatively, you can still choose Smart 24 TV to drive your business and SMB as your morning kickstarter. We do take a break. After that, we have business tips, business quotes, and more SMB reports coming your way.